Here we go. Can you guys hear me? No, right. Still working. That's good. Yeah, sometimes that bugs out my mic when I'm recording and such. I don't know, man. Right, getting into it. Our plans going forward. As you guys know, we were dumped like a high school relationship from the Hamza mods, just basically ghosted, right? Within a day's time, these guys decided that we were gone and just left us. For absolutely no reason. And this wasn't just us. This wasn't just the Sabretooths. This was every single tribe. These guys dumped every tribe with no prior warning. And there is kind of a prior warning, and that's what you guys can see in the announcements channel, which is literally just them saying, sorry lads, but tribes are out with a picture of a job application. So essentially, the head mod, so I'll let you guys know a little bit more about what happened there, right? So going to that, as many of you know, the tribot broke and had some issues a few days prior to this event, right? And these issues essentially consisted of just not being able to execute any commands at all, right? I had planned on finding a fix for this very quickly with our programming group because luckily we have a lot of talented individuals in our group. A lot of you guys have some experience with bots already from what I've seen, and I myself have a little bit of experience with Discord API. And so we're going to partner with the Raptors, which is another very big tribe that I'll let you guys know a secret really quickly. We're looking very, very forward to partnering with them, and their leader is great. I just got off a call with him. He's super driven, super motivated, wants to help you guys just like I do, and I think you guys would really get along with them. And so that's for the future, though. But essentially, we are already planning to fix the bot and have everything up and running again. But the moderators, essentially, as soon as the bot broke, saw this as a chance for. So in the first place, this whole system was only supported by Hamza himself and Scene and two of the other moderators on Hamza's server, right? And so when everything went down and when the tribes had started, it was only these maybe 3, 4 people that actually supported the system. So what happened is that as soon as the tribe route broke, Scene, which was the main guy that was even keeping that server together, was just done with things. He's way too busy. The guy's amazing, but there's no motivation to be in a godless place anymore, right? Hamza had already left that place. Seam just had to go too. He had no reason to stay there. That's not even a self-improvement server anymore, and they're just Discord mods at this point. And so Scene left, and Scene, being the main developer of the bot, essentially made it so that we didn't even have access to the source code anymore. I mean, we did, but there was nobody to even approve it. And with Scene leaving, the moderator group just took it as a chance to execute whatever they had in mind. And so without telling any tribe leaders, remember, there was 34 tribes, 32, 33 apart from us, right? And yes, 20, 25 of these tribes had absolutely nothing going on for them, and they were dead zones. But for those 9 tribes that were doing something, man, we loved that system, right? And I saw something like this coming from a mile away because I knew that most of those moderators were not liking the system because it was taking power away from them in the first place. And as you guys know, a Discord mod can't go without some power, right? And so, thankfully, I managed to keep you guys together by having this server. And under the approval of Hamza at first, when he was still even in that Discord, because I am 90% sure he's not even in that server anymore. He's got his own academy thing going on now, his own community that is way more productive, and honestly, if any of you can afford that, I recommend 100% going for that, but if you can't afford it, there's also better ways to use your money, because $600 a month for me is a little steep either way. And so, going back on topic, our plans moving forward are to, in the first place, get past this, right? Now that we aren't related anymore to Hamza's server, there's hardly a reason for us to keep the Sabretooth banner, right? And the thing with that is that as Sabretooths, we have our honor. We have our symbol. Our spirit is that of the Sabretooth. We have our code of honor here. The Saber code, which is Man, I should have probably memorized this actually. I had planned the whole speech and didn't even think about that part. Um, we want to keep our values as Sabretooths, but we will be rebranding soon into something that is more open to spread the message of self-improvement, right? And being more open to giving these resources that we have to more people, because now that we're no longer in Hamza's, what this means is that yes, it's sad because we're not going to be able to provide those people because we're not going to be able to provide these people with any part of the benefits that we originally had in mind for them. My vision for this, and Belial when he was still with us, our vision was to provide the guys on Hamza's server who were so passionate about self-improvement, because there was a set of you guys. Um, Luckily, I think most of you are in this tribe already, but the set of you guys in that server that really, really that were lost but had the spirit of self-improvement. Sadly, we won't be able to provide them anything anymore, right? So now, even if we've lost that, even if we lost that opportunity to spread this message even farther and really save more people who have one foot in the door and one foot out the door, I feel like now this is a very good chance for us to spread and provide this message for more people outside of this tribe. And so going forward, our main goal here is going to be giving the message of self-improvement in an active way, with ways for them to learn skills, have accountability groups, and essentially those of you that are in groups, in particular the Animus groups and Mediaware groups. Remember when the server was gonna get taken down and moved to Hamza? Man, yeah, that was at the beginning stages. Luckily, that didn't happen. That was only because Scene was being a goat, though. It's really sad to see him go. Essentially, he was the only one keeping that server together, and really had an idea of what it was going to be about. But it's just a lot to take for one person, I guess, and especially when your god essentially leaves, and the server, Hamza's message is a whole cult, right, around Adonis, and if Hamza abandons that, then the cult's gone, and he pretty much did. So, that's not to say anything bad on him. It's just that that server now, it's only real values and lectures and such. We will actually be providing lectures. You guys are gonna see the first lecture being done soon. I'm gonna be doing a lecture on Stoicism or NoFap, depending on the poll that I'll be putting up and the votes that you guys give on it. And I think that's gonna help you guys at least in those ways. I'm very passionate about those areas in particular, mainly because I struggled with NoFap for 2 years and a half before I actually managed to get it down and not, jack myself off for 3 times a day for at least 2 months at first, right? And so, back on topic, our main goal here is going to be spreading this message and spreading our mentors' abilities to sort of not their abilities, but it's spreading just the message of active self-improvement, putting things into good use, putting things into learning skills more actively, right? And we're going to be doing that through social promotion and through the different projects that your groups will be taking on, right? So the programming group, if you guys don't know already, and I haven't made a post because sadly Belier was their leader and he ended up, he's not here with us anymore. So I'm still finding another leader for them. I will be taking hold of that group if nobody steps up, because I think you guys have a lot of potential and I cannot bear to see that wasted. And so I'll be taking the helm even if I know bad shit about leading a project group, about a programming group. I am able to code, just not in a more group sense. That's not my specialty here. Either way, we want to be spreading this message as far as possible. And active self-improvement is the real self-improvement. It's not the self-improvement where you watch videos, you join a server and talk with people who are essentially just Jeffries and have nothing going on for them, and just fuel each other by thinking their own self-improvement because, oh, they're talking to this really productive guy who only says they're doing shit and actually gets off the call and jacks off, right? And that's a really interesting place to join the call. And so that's going to be one of our plans going forward. The second plan is not only providing and spreading this message further, but also providing you guys with more extensive resources in the form of one podcast that we're going to be doing weekly, interviewing people who are knowledgeable on topics, people who have something that's going to be valuable to you guys. Me and Vi back in the day almost made a drop shipping store. Uh, yeah, I remember that. I tried to buy that store from you guys. Remember? Anyways, essentially, we want to have it be a system where you guys are getting as much as possible, especially since now our group will be growing at a slower pace. And so I want to just, I think this is a really good chance to focus on you guys and providing you with as much value as possible in the way of lectures, podcasts, mentors, and the mentors are your group leaders. For those of you that are in a group, if you guys show up to the call tomorrow, and even if you don't, you can still see it on the YouTube channel. We're gonna be introducing all five of the current bigger group leaders. We have co-leaders as well. Many of them aren't comfortable being on call like that yet, though. And so essentially, all these resources that we'd usually have to spread thin to really keep the new members coming in from going off the path and just staying focused on what's actually important, on active self-improvement. Our whole message, our whole ideal is active self-improvement. We want you guys learning skills, we want you guys putting things in, and so that's the main plan going forward, to promote that through socials. If you see soon, we have a clothing brand that's being started by Norvzy. You guys can see him in the group leaders tab right now. He's an extremely talented creator, an extremely talented editor. He has a very remarkable idea for a socialized clothing brand that's really tailored towards. Think of our end goal as being like the Gymshark of self improvement, right? Of general self improvement. That is where we want to become, where we want to get to, and in a way also providing you guys a way to fit into this bigger message and a way to grab something from it and also contribute. And if you guys want to see more detailed ways that you can contribute, that's mainly through your individualized groups and individualized group leaders. And so the main idea here of our end goal here is to, now our end goal, it used to be to just provide you guys with an area where you can learn skills, where you can grow as people. But because of this impromptu freedom, essentially, we want to build something big off of this, and we want to spread the message of self-improvement as far as possible, and we want to grow it and see to it that all of you fellas here that have so much potential have a chance to thrive in that potential. And going into that, if you guys have any ideas for projects that you'd like to manage, besides the ones or project ideas, after this call we'll be putting a suggestion channel first off, so you can suggest those there, and an even more active way to take helm of that and really make sure that those projects come to life is to apply for being a group leader. And in this way, if we accept your application, and I'll be interviewing you and going through a bunch of steps just to make sure that you're actually fit for the system. The tribe chess tournament, man. Okay, so that tribe chess tournament, I'm just gonna say it already ended because it was between tribes, but as you know, tribes have essentially just evaporated into thin air now. So, um, yeah, that's I don't see how we do that. Yeah, we won exactly. We're Let's give a high five to Akin when he joins this call. He said he'd be in here. Or a regional chess champion Akin. We'll be doing other tournaments instead of the tribe. Either tomorrow or a few days from now, you'll see a post about the upcoming Strava tournament. If you guys know what Strava is, it's a fitness app. You guys are going to be competing against each other in miles run or actual high quality cardio time, high intensity cardio. And I just want to see that you guys stop ignoring cardio, because I've gotten so many DMs from you saying, "Oh, but cardio kills your gains." No, bro. Cardio does not kill your gains. You're just fucking lazy. And so, Chimbro, say exactly. That's what I'm saying. You guys need to get on that, because you're just gonna end up at like 55% body fat or some shit. Yeah, you're gonna be ripped under that, but who's gonna see anything ripped when you're overweight, right? And so, that's mainly what goes into a clean bulk. I don't believe in a dirty bulk, because my idea of a clean bulk in the first place is not just sitting on your ass. Yeah, I know 55% body fat's like you're wobbling around, you're like a pickup truck on legs, but still, right? And essentially, yeah, that's the message that we're gonna have. I'll put all of this in a little doc for you guys as soon as this call is over. But if you guys have any questions, now is the time. And after your questions, we can get into what your actual role in this will be. So, Noob Gang, I saw you were putting up your hand earlier. Feel free to talk, anybody that wants to. As I said, I want this tribe call to be a lot more personal, right? I want to talk a little more about that podcast later. I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be part of our Animus group. I know many of you have your favorite group as Animus group right now. Just know that that's not the only group that's out there, and all the other groups also have an immense level of value. Yeah, feel free to speak here. I'll invite you up. Oh, I can't hear you. Give me just a second. My headphones might have turned off.
Fucking drawn on eyebrows. And ain't you from Nigeria, madam? Why are you pretending?
All right. Say something, mate. Yeah, no, that's still not working. Can anybody else hear me? Yes. All right. Just give me a sec. I'll be right back then.
Oh,
All right. Hey, mate. I can hear you now.
okay. So it's about midnight here, and it's not always convenient to have meetings at this time. So can we make it earlier for me? Because yeah, it's 12 a.m. and I have college tomorrow. I don't have college tomorrow, but I have on the day after.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You okay? I just want to say I set up the tribe call tomorrow specifically because I know a lot of you are in the same situation as my friend here, and yeah, I don't want you guys to feel forced to show up here on one day if it's really inconvenient for you. The reason why I had this call so much later today is because many of you are celebrating Easter today and are having Easter lunch, and so I just wanted you guys to have time to get out of that. And so, as you're saying, yeah, I'm actually trying to find a time that works for most of you guys. You're a very diversified group, so what I've been thinking is have one call in the morning on one day, and the next call in the afternoon on one day, or have two calls in one day. So, you can let me know what you think about that.
That would be great. That would be
Yeah,
more convenient for us. Yeah, thank you.
of course, mate.
I
Anytime.
would Uh, I would step down and leave
Do you have any
for
other questions
others
before you go?
to. Not really, but about the groups, it's that you have to divide them or you have to fill a form or something.
Alright, so for the groups, if you guys, the ones here that are already accepted into the main clubs, you can see in group selection, right? You have all the options for your current groups and a little introduction of what they're about. So, the current groups, they all have a slightly similar focus on more of a social marketing aspect, right? But at
Hmm.
the same time, all of them have the goal of developing different skills, right? Uh, am I famous now that I'm on YouTube? Sure, you can be famous. And so you can see your options there, and that's when you can apply for that. You can see what groups
Okay,
really fit your idea, and yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll leave the stage for others right now.
Yeah, of
Bye.
course, man. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Anyone else that would like to stand up? Like to participate in the call? If you guys don't want to participate but have questions either way, make sure that you can put them in the chat, right? And when you put them in the chat, I'll just answer them that way, so you guys don't have to stand up if you're shy for whatever reason. I feel like you guys shouldn't be shy, simply because part of self-improvement in general and the message we're promoting here is being a more social person, right? Putting your ideas out there. A2A, what is your question? But yeah, it's acceptable for now, I guess. I'll give you guys a chance to hide in your little shells if you don't want to speak. Alright, so currently we're discussing why don't you get people from different time zones to host calls? Okay, simply put, with that, I'll answer both of your questions and then I can um, let you get up to speak, Jesse. So essentially, it's very difficult to get different people to host these calls because they need to. At first, I had a very good idea that Belial could be hosting these because he was on a much more fit time zone for a lot of you, especially those that are on the western side, on the eastern side of the world. The only problem is that he's not here anymore, and he was really one of the main people I could trust with these calls because he had I kind of dumped all the ideas onto him and stuff, as well as had a shared brain essentially. So right now it would just be very difficult to have calls in different time zones. So our solution for that, um, as Fruseg is saying, Frugoseg, I'm pretty sure that's how you spell that, is essentially just recording them and posting them later on the YouTube channel, as well as posting a little summary in the announcements channel afterwards, just so you guys can, yeah, at least know what it's about if you can't make it. So I don't want you guys to feel pressured and miss college the next morning because of this, though. And also, I can just host the calls eventually. Where is Limac? Man, Limac is going on some of his own journey. I have no idea. For those of you that don't know, Limac was one of our original personnel here. So now I'll answer our second question from Dr. Daniel. Are we rebranding to something outside of Sabretooths? So, partially, right? Our main symbol is going to be the saber-toothed tiger still. And because of the fact that I feel like that's just a very good symbol to start with. It's ferocious. It embodies the ideas that we have. It embodies our code that we have, our code of honor, which you guys can check out on the Notion, which is publicly posted instead of the rules and resources tab for those of you that are accepted into the tribe already. And so I feel like the Sabretooth is very good. So we won't entirely be rebranding. We'll be rebranding to something related to Sabretooths, right? Centurial Collective would be such a dope. Ah, all right. I need to save that actually and discuss that. Currently, the ones that are it's me and two other fellows from the group leaders that are really this Sabretooth Cave. Saber, bro, you spelled it with a C? Are you serious? We were gonna rebrand to something like that then. If you see, all of our tribe socials are currently under the name the S97. Yeah, the 97 from Hamza 97, because, we gotta pay some homage to our roots. Noob gang, so when you get into a group, do you get extra channels? Can talk in nearly midnight here and I. Yeah. So, as soon as you get into a group, if you guys see right now, those of you that aren't in the group only have access to one, two, three channels if you aren't in the chess club. The call channel is only temporary for this call, and the tribe content channel is for any pictures and content that you want to share, while general is for, just general talk. And so, why do we only have three channels for you guys? Because we want to keep this server very focused on you guys, ironically. And what that means is my AC is kind of. I don't have AC, it's a fan. Let me turn that off though, if it's bothering you guys. Is that any better? Alright, I hope that's better. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me know in the future if that's blasting into the mic. I try and position it well, but either way, let's get going. So, essentially, as soon as you get, as soon as you apply for one of the groups, right? And your leader tells me that they want you in the group because you passed through a vetting process, whatever that may be. It's really on an individualized leader level what they're looking for. Then you'll get access to all of the project related groups, right? Another way that, and sorry, project related channels for the project that you get accepted into. And another way that you will actually have access to more channels is if you get recognized as a level 2 and level 3 individual. I will actually be posting what those numbers even mean tomorrow on tomorrow's call. I just need to discuss them a little further, really hammer down the idea, at least for today. We have a very clear idea of how we're going to implement that system, but essentially that's going to be the higher level networking groups, which you guys will actually get full value from, right? And so if you want to have access to more channels than what you currently have and have a more tight-knit little group, I definitely recommend applying for a group because the groups are where you get all that. At some point, it'll become mandatory to only apply to a group, and only the people who are in a group will have a cross-group channel where you guys can talk and interact. Let me see if there's any other questions. You have 10 cent on your account. Nice, good job, Nubia. They recorded. All right, I think that's about it for now. So I'll invite you to speak, Jesse. Here, you've been invited. All right. Hey,
Can you
mate.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're a little loud, but works.
I think we should have like a part of the server be like about religion and like stuff like that. Like like a lot of people here are like Christians stuff.
Okay, I think that um, that's a very, very complicated topic to get into. We don't really. So, religion for us is more of a idea that is on an individual scale, right? Because I know many
Yeah.
of you are believers in very different things, and so because of that, I don't want to exclude any of you by focusing on one religion in particular, if that's what you mean. And I think
Or
that'd just
like
be
every
unfair.
religion.
Every religion. Well, okay. Um, yeah, no, that's not happening.
All right.
Yeah, we're accepting of all religions, and I want to keep that as what we're doing, and I don't want to. I think that can create, yeah, that can create a lot of separation, as Miyamoto's saying.
Yeah, I was just like thinking about like the Alex Eubank server, how there's like a Christianity like side of it, and how there's like Bible studies and all that.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna stay clear of that honestly, because that can exclude a lot of you, and I don't want any of you to be excluded. Am I from Australia? No, sir, I'm from Latin America, and so I really don't wanna be excluding any of you because I feel like all of you deserve an equal place, right?
All right.
And me personally, I'm not necessarily a believer in any particular religion. I'm a believer in Stoicism. I'm a firm believer in Stoicism and its views on what a god is, right? And I know that you can definitely pair Luxembourg. What? Is that a language? I didn't even know that was a language. No, my only languages are Spanish, Italian, and English, and French and Portuguese understanding. Right? Both my French and Portuguese are speaking was practically non-existent, and yeah, I am Spanish native. Brazil, nah, Costa Rica actually, fellas. You guys know where that is? Central America. It's right dead in the center. It's the smallest. Bad Bunny. And okay, I do not stand by Bad Bunny, bro. I think he's honestly ruining some shit that's going on in this country in particular. But that's that topic for a whole nother day. One of my personal goals here is not here, but in general, is to bring the message of self-improvement to Latin America and kind of push that Bad Bunny shit out the way because I think that's not only polluting the woman in this country and in this entire part of the world, but also the men by believing that they need to act that way, right? And I think that's extremely toxic to a society as a whole. Where am I from? Costa Rica. Here, as you've asked, as many people have asked, I'll just type it in chat here. Let me see if I missed any questions from you guys. But we better to be in a different server for religious purposes. Yeah. So, I don't know if this is what you meant by religion, but we're gonna have a firm doctrine that we're following, a code of honor for our members. That's gonna be based on respect, but it won't be under the idea of guidance of a religious figure at all. And I'm gonna stay clear of that. And I'll say that again, that I just wanna be inclusive to everybody, and at the same time, though, have a really, really firm code of honor that is not related to religion, but serves the purpose of believing in or giving an idea of what is right and what isn't right. And that code of honor is going to be based entirely on Stoicism, which is not a religion, it is simply a philosophy. And so I feel like many people can adapt to that and realize that that's good. Can we? I would appreciate if you guys could avoid the debate on religion for now, so we can get back on topic. How will I know if I've been accepted? You will get the Cubs role like the other people in the tribe. Will you talk about more stuff, or is the call almost finished? So in the sorry, not in the future, in like 10 minutes. I'll be as soon as we get this Q&A part of the way. I want to do that 2:50 my time. That's whatever X50 for you guys. We can get into what you guys will be doing. I just saw someone lift their hand up. You're welcome to speak if that's what you are looking to do. Workout splits. Oh, that's one thing I want to say. So many of you are extremely knowledgeable in fitness and personal training. Can you? Okay, no, you can't play Angry Birds, alright? Many of you are very knowledgeable in fitness and personal training. Wait, is my mic lagging? No, no. Alright, alright. Just making sure. Could you post an announcements? Yeah, sure, mate. We should have a weekly write where we read a book, like Way of the Spirit Man, for 30 minutes. That's what you're saying right now is one of the ideas that I have for one of our weekly events. We want to have weekly events in mainly the form of currently lectures, podcasts, and that. I haven't actually talked about that idea with any of the other people who are actually helping me in the server. But I do want to drive that forward because I think reading and knowledge is an extremely big part of what actually makes a good man. Alright. Any other questions here? Uh, when are there going to be tribe battles? So, okay. Our main focus here is you could have guests who are not. Yeah, that's one thing that I really like about in this system is that we have plenty of people who are extremely knowledgeable and could definitely help to to provide you guys at least an entry into something or help in some way to develop a further skill and just give you guys an idea through a podcast with extremely interesting people. Should we leave the Hamza server or not? Man, we are now technically completely unrelated to the Hamza server, so you guys can, without a doubt, just leave and it doesn't really affect anything here. Also, another thing with that, if any of you feel the need to um, like share this message with your friends. The server, I've enabled invites. You guys can invite anybody that you want, and if they go through the application process like a normal member, then we will accept them. Since we're no longer part of Hamza, how are we gonna get new members? So that getting new members is gonna be through our socials, and we're actually gonna be strengthening the vetting process so that we don't just get Jeffries coming in, right? Social media, yeah, pretty much social media. And that's going to be going forward with at least, okay, we're going to have two different ways that new people will be coming into the system. One, we're going to have a more open community which will be unrelated to this current group, and from that group they can come into here, and if they're willing to work on the projects and learn new skills and be a part of these groups, then they can easily take part. What if we introduce like twice a week where people go on stage and talk about their life as a Jeffrey and how they changed and stuff? That's a good idea. I feel we should get a. Listen, man, you can make a rare community. I refuse to acknowledge we even have one if we do. An advice and an easier way to Discord. Ooh, okay. What you're saying right now is essentially what some of the goal is. You're gonna go bed. All right. Good night. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you asking questions as always. You're a great guy here. Back on topic. Yeah, for questions, you're gonna have two ways of answering any personal questions. I want you guys to be very close with the group that you have in the first place, right? and we'll be providing you those groups by just seeing if you're worthy to be in the groups themselves, because we only want people who actually can provide value to you in those groups. People who can be like friends on self-improvement, share like-minded ideas, and can really help each other grow. And so you're going to be able to share your questions there and get advice. And there's also going to be just the general threads where actually in the suggestions thread, in the suggestions, zero. Why do I? I've been working on German. Yeah, weird congregations, I guess. Anyways, and essentially, you guys will be able to ask questions there. On to the next questions. What if you introduce twice a week? I was thinking that could be part of the podcast partially, and another way that could be part of the podcast is also our high achievers. If you see that post on high achievers, the only post that we have on there is currently that's just a startup post by Akan, the guy who actually won the chess tournament. Great guy. We want to have that be a way that they're sharing their skills, right? Are we going to meet up someday? Yeah. So for the app that we're developing, we want that to at least one of the visions that we had, me and Belial, before he ended up leaving us, sadly, is that, and I want to continue this, is creating a system where you guys can find out where you're from and really know if you have friends that are impersonal friends in self-improvement. Much easier than just asking around, and that's in our way. In the future, we want to be doing meetups too, and that'll be when we scale up completely, right? You gotta go. All right, see you later, Al. Let's see. You can read almost any book free online. Yeah, we actually have a whole library of pretty much every self-improvement book that you can think of on the Notion. So if you've been accepted and you can check out the Notion, you can see the resources we have on there that are absolutely insane, actually. Um, a whole library, essentially, of all the self-improvement books that you'd ever need. So for that reading, if you're really suggesting that, then I guess I'll just go ahead and execute that plan. That was one of the ideas that we had, as I said. So if you guys are interested, we can really take that a step farther. And so, are there going to be challenges like in the old server? We're actually looking to partner with another group that can provide you guys challenges. Right now, if we are the ones doing the challenges, that is diversifying our interests way too much. It's going to be like an opt-in thing if we do, but we're focusing on, instead of challenges, in the way of like interaction, tournaments. If you guys want to be participating in that, but our main focus is providing you guys with skills, knowledge, and the ability to grow. And I don't think challenges are a good way to go about that, in my opinion. But you guys will have access to a way to go through that in the future. I will give Shreyas a chance to speak. Shreyas is one of our group leaders. He is the current leader of Boat Crew 2. Yes, sir. And so here you go, Shreyas. You've been invited to speak now. We do a chess tourney. We had one going. I want to have another one between you guys very soon as well, though. Since I had a lot of prizes stacked up. Sorry, Shreyas, just give me a second here. I had a lot of prizes stacked up because I was essentially going to be funding all the prize 1 through 3 of the Between Tribe tournament. And so those are still there. And since I haven't given them to anybody, I'm open to give them to you guys in future tournaments. Shreyas, feel free to speak.
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh,
Hosting it, and then
wait,
is it gonna
repeat
be
what you
on
were
the web?
saying?
Excuse me?
Could you repeat what you said?
Oh, I was asking that how is the podcasts and lectures gonna work? Who's gonna be the one hosting them, and who's gonna get invited? Where's it gonna be held?
Okay, so for those podcasts, essentially, we want to be. You have to talk to Artorias, or okay, we'll have a further introduction into how the podcasts are going to be like. We have a member in particular from Artorias' group, the Animus group, that is super interested in hosting them, and this was actually his idea to have the podcast. And so I don't want to spoil that or leak that just yet until we have everything ready and up and running. But we should start with the podcast by the start of next week and or the week after that, right? And who's going to be hosting them? It's going to be this guy because he's super excited about that, and Artorius is too, and I am too now actually after talking with him for a bit. And so yeah, that's gonna be the host, and for who goes to speak on there, you guys will be able to apply if you want to speak, but generally it'll be somebody that we qualify, and at the start at least it'll be tribe leaders like you guys, like you Shreyas, like Artorius, like myself, and in the future more experienced people like senior developers on certain topics, on certain programming languages. It'll be, man, it'll be anything that we find that can be any person that is able to provide intellectual value in an actual conversation like that is gonna be a perfect candidate. And you guys can
Yeah.
apply as well. We'll do a little interview beforehand, and if you guys get accepted to that interview, you guys can go ahead. All of this is subject to change, just so everybody knows here. We want to do the podcast, and I will make that happen myself. If we don't end up organizing it as a more of a Animus group endeavor, I want to have that happen either way. It'll be posted on Spotify as well as live here and live on Twitch. Again, all subject to change. Anything else, mate?
No, that's it.
All right. Did I cover everything you had in mind?
I mean, in that we talked about, unless you want to get into the joint project, which I'm not sure.
Um, Artorias, do you want to get into the joint projects? I know that you're only able to listen right now and just put a message in the chat. I think it's a little early to talk about those, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna speak to you about that in the chat, but I didn't know if it was the right time.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little early. We have our mission, and the joint projects are gonna be based off of that mission. So, we create like a selection place for videos about self-improvement with actual good advice. Your group leaders already are doing that, right? And they're doing it in a much more specified way. I myself, my role in this is gonna be providing you guys more general mindset stuff, right? And that'll be through organizing events for you guys, through organizing things that happen. And I'm not going to be the only one organizing them. The individual groups also have a role in that, particularly our Taurus' group with their podcasts, with all of that they're going to be willing to do. And so, yeah, for that information and content on self improvement, you guys are going to have way more than just a playlist. But yeah, we have our vision, and I told them about the vision, so I'll give a little leak into what we're talking about, actually, if you guys want to understand a little bit more about these shared projects. Uh, we think that all of our groups can go together very nicely in a system that will just bring benefit to all of you, and also at the same time help spread the message that we're trying to promote of active self-improvement, right? And that's the whole idea there. I'm happy to hear that, Nez. I'm really grateful to actually even have you guys because um, I think that my purpose in life is to find a way to help young men like you guys to be in a better position and grow with each other. And I really feel like that is the purpose that I found. And so maybe not in this group in this way in particular, but in my life I do feel like that is one of the that is gonna be one of my main goals. What's my YouTube channel? Mate, I don't have a YouTube channel. I deleted it. I don't really have time to record anything right now either because I'm scripting a bunch of stuff and it's yeah. I will actually be uploading my own personal lectures on my YouTube channel and eventually maybe uploading personalized content, but it's all about like what you're focusing on, right? And my focus is currently split by quite a few different pathways. And of course, I'm a very big believer of time being something that you make, not something that you acquire. And I'm really just not willing to make the time to make videos yet because I've got quite a bit going on. Although, when we start promoting this, as a system, I will start creating videos for, in particular, this tribe and helping in the entire content process. And maybe even for myself if I come to the conclusion that's going to help the tribe in general. Gonna start a YouTube channel in college. Just start one now, bro. If you have time, start one now. Honestly, why do you have to wait? Controlling parents? For real? They don't let you start a YouTube channel? This is a bit of a stretch, but I think a ticket system for application of being approved as a member in the server would be cool. It would also be beneficial to make it applicable to judge the application or judge what application you should prioritize. Could you talk a little more about that, 2K and 7?
I'll leave the stage if he wants to come up.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
actually, no, you can stay for now. Okay, that works. But my parents won't let me get my own bank account, and I have guides I could sell for 20 each, bro. Why don't you just partner with somebody? That's what I was doing when I first started selling stuff online when I was like 14, 13. Man, that business did not go anywhere, but at least I found out that I could get better at trusting people, and I'm pretty sure I did that, so that worked for me in the long term. So friends, I'm with family on Easter and limited to responsible, but like I said for now, is there will be an opportunity for people to learn and create for some. Yeah, I recommend you guys look at what Artorius is saying. He's one of the group leaders that we have, and man, this server is going to be based not only around you guys, but also around the group leaders, because I'm honestly extremely grateful that we have access to the leaders that we currently have access to. I think they're extremely good for you guys, and I'm very lucky that I'm able to provide you guys with mentors like them. Of course, they have their own things, they have their own time, and the only reason that they are qualified to be mentors is because they already have something going on. And so I just want to let you guys know that they are there for you, but they're not on Discord the entire time. So it's just good to know that they won't be able to answer you guys all the time. I think that we can get into the final part of this call. If anyone wants to buy and sell golf clubs on eBay, see if they money off of it. I know a lot about clubs. I mean, go ahead. Alright, so I just want to say thanks for everyone that contributed to the Q&A. I'll get into what you guys will be doing in the future of this of this tribe, right? So, essentially, we're gonna have you guys taking part in one of two main concepts, essentially, that are the groups are gonna be based around. You're either gonna be creating content and learning content creation and creating your own content for yourselves, or developing your skills in that way, and or you will be developing skills in marketing aspects and in copywriting and in other skilled subjects. And so what your role will be in the to actually help the tribe grow, what you can do to help the tribe grow is just put your full effort in what you're going to be doing with your groups, because you guys have access to these resources that we're going to be providing you, and these resources don't mean shit unless you're taking part in actually making use of them, right? And so we can give you guys everything. We can give you guys the world, but what we can't give you is the actual willpower to use what we're giving you, right? And that's all on you guys. I want you to know that if you want to help the tribe, the best thing to do is take use of those resources and really just contribute as much as you can to your projects and help the tribe grow in that way. And the more that you help the tribe grow, not only the more that you will probably personally profit because you'll be able to participate in more things, and eventually, we want to give you guys like a chance to actually make money through this. We're playing on a very long game kind of idea here, where this is going to take time to develop because of just the systems that we have in place. That, as with any idea, it takes time to bring to life. I'm not here for money as a 13-year-old. That's perfectly fine because even our main objective is actually the skills. I'm just wanting to say that you guys will even have a way to make profits from this. And if that's a motivation for many of you, then that's good. Either way, the best way to contribute to this is literally just making use of what we're giving you. What we're giving you if you're in a group. If you're contributing, if you're keeping your group on the track, you can even become a co-leader, potentially. And when you're a co-leader, we can even offer you to manage your own groups. And not your own groups, but your own projects. Because if you guys look on the FAQ, and I haven't really talked about it here, but I usually talk about it in tribe calls. Every group is going to be managing different projects either way, and many of these are going to be collaborative. You should make it like if you promote the tribe on TikTok and share for every 5 members, you make 50 cents or something. That is a good idea, actually, but man, that's a complicated subject. Honestly, too complicated to maybe talk about here with the time that we have, because that takes a personal, actual monetary investment from me, and I'm like barely in the job market currently. So I'm doing this as a project because I want to see you guys grow and help you guys. And so that would be viable only if I start taking a profit from this, because logically, just throwing money into an endless pit, and yes, that pit might grow, but you know how it is. So if you see me doing that, just know that there's probably a profit incentive for me as well. Freda has a question. Yes, I will take a look. Where do I ask questions? I don't see a channel for it, but I asked when I call. Where did you ask that? Let me take a look. Contracts to keep yourself accountable. What do you mean by that? Do you mean contracts like contracts with your fellow group members? Because the way that we want to keep you accountable is just through constant talking with each other, and when your group is solidified and you're all working on a project, your group leader and your project leader will be having to keep you accountable on actually working in that group. Because if you are not working on that group and you don't have a reason that is an actual reason to not be working with your group, then just know that we have other people who can make use of those resources, right? And we want to see you guys actually making use of what we're giving you, because your tribe, your group leaders, they don't have all the time in the world, and they're doing something that's taking their own time out, right? And they are busy. So if you aren't making use of the what we're giving you, and they're going to be keeping you accountable because they don't want to see their time wasted either, then I don't know how we can even help you at that point. We can see if there's a problem that we can solve and we can help you get through. But if there's no problem and you're just a bum, then I'm sorry, but and we can't be keeping you around like that. Could be contract with yourself or anywhere else. Yeah, I want to also be incentivizing you guys to find an accountability partner in the tribe soon or later on. And so through that, you're not just going to be kept accountable on the actual projects, but also be kept accountable on your own ideas, on your own personal projects, and on your own path in self-improvement, because we can still provide you resources in that. But again, our main problem at that point is just going to be you guys actually making use of the resources that we're giving you. And one of the ways that I've thought about in that is not just with our groups and with the projects that are naturally going to keep you guys accountable, but also with providing you guys with the smaller community that your group is going to give you, you'll very easily be able to find a accountability partner. And I have an idea for a challenge, which is not quite a challenge, but it's more so a challenge of, it's not going to be the challenges like do 100 push-ups, but I want you guys to all have an accountability partner at some point, and so we will be incentivizing that very, very soon, right? Because I feel like that is something that would serve you guys extremely well, and not just you guys, but it'll help us to make sure that we're not wasting what we're giving you. Also, this just came to mind, but if you promote the tribe on TikTok, yeah. So, one thing, if you guys want to promote the tribe, we are going to have incentives to actually do that, mainly because the tribe socials, we are wanting to scale them up and scale them up very quickly. And there is a way to contribute to that is mutual contribution. I'm in talks with various sponsors with various brands. They're all like normal supplement brands and such, and brands along those lines. And so those brands are willing to provide sponsorships as long as we scale up, right? I was very proud of myself the other day. I was in talks with a supplement brand, ETA Supplements, right? And I essentially basically convinced them to give us a sponsorship. And they looked at our page and was like, "Wait, what the fuck? You don't even have any posts." And so essentially, like right before we actually get a sponsorship from them, they just realized that we didn't have anything on the page, and we're like, "No," right? And so yeah, I just fully convinced them, and I was very, very proud of that. So I felt like sharing that story. And so yeah, essentially, we're gonna have an incentive for you guys to share your content, whether that be brand promotion, personal promotion, or pretty much that'll be attention based at first, and in the second point, it'll be monetary based, and we'll definitely be giving you guys benefits if you've been loyal since the beginning to actually helping us. And if you're already a content creator, one way that you can actually help in that way, in that path, is by imagine blunderif in real. Yeah, I blundered, right? Anyways, one way that you can actually provide is just hitting us up and telling us what kind of content you make. And by telling us that, we can promote it on the tribe socials where you'll get mutual, where you'll one, get exposed to a bigger audience, and two, you'll have access to our future supplement deals and essentially a way to profit from those, right? We're still thinking about how that's going to be split, but if you're an existing creator, we're going to be incentivizing creating your own content. Also, that's another thing. Especially the Animus group is going to be focusing on making your own brand, making your own path in the world. And so, yeah, we want to also be providing areas for you guys as content creators to grow, and even providing an agency kind of system where you guys can get editors from our tribe, from your already existing group, from your system, and just not have to really network or look into that. And just that is a way that we can really streamline the process for you guys, where you'll be able to have access to a thumbnail creator, an editor, your full slew of partners that you would need for starting like a full content creation business right from the tribe. And so those are all future benefits that we can be providing you guys. So nothing that I'm saying right now is set in stone yet, just FYI for you guys to know. Most of this is going to be up to change. Gaming and TV show, I don't know, man. I'm personally a very big advocate for quitting all gaming, right? I think if there's gaming that is worse than other gaming, one of the lectures I want to do after the potential NoFap and Stoicism lectures are making you, why gaming is castrating you, right? Because I generally do think it's castrating people. Gaming and porn, right? How many groups are there going to be? Is there a limited amount, or can anyone become a group leader as long as their value? Okay, so we want to have at most 15 groups, at most, right? And this is at our full capacity. Currently, we have between 5 and 7 groups, right? And it depends what you're counting as a group, of course. And so, as for that, anybody can become a group leader if they're recognized by by an existing group leader to have their own ideas. They can either become a co-leader under that same group banner, or they present to me a new group idea based around a new area that promotes a different skill, or it can promote an existing skill but in a different way, and can provide resources in that way. So if you can provide resources, you can become a group leader. And so, yeah, if you have valuable skills and can teach the members, you are pretty much eligible to become a group leader, and of course are willing to actually teach. I must skedaddle in a bit. Yeah, that works. So 2K and 7, you had said, let's just, yeah, we can talk for 2 minutes later. Here, add me back if you haven't added me yet, just so I can keep you in mind. You'll pop up on the top of my friends list. I know many of your personal trainers as well. Tux is the only one in this call that is a personal trainer, I'm pretty sure. We want to be providing a system where you guys can also spread your, not ideas, but what am I trying to phrase here? Yeah, spread your business in a more personal way, and not only get a bigger audience to train. Trading group. For a trading group, wait, Josh, what group are you in? You're in programming. Alright, whatever. Trading group, I'm trying to get you guys a trading leader. I have somebody in mind. The guy is cracked. He might be too young though. If you need help with your training plan or diet, you may contact me. Yeah, that's why I want to make a training group. Training, not trading, if you had misunderstood me, Josh. Can I get more details on the Sabretooths gym playlist? Did I not post that here? Man, here, I'll go ahead and post that right now, actually. Because that playlist is partially fire, apart from whoever added the Barbie theme song in there. Honestly, I can't believe some people, man. Yeah, I've got it saved. I'll just send the link in the chat. Sabretooths Go Gym. Here we go. Share, copy link to playlist. Alright. You guys can now see that in call. And I'll be posting that as well in the resources tab in a second. What's my opinion on music? So I'm actually a huge audiophile, so I have a very mixed opinion on music, where I think that it is just another form of escapism, but at the same time it can be useful for supplementing what you're doing, right? So if it's supplementing what you're doing, then it's not a bad thing. And at least that's what I think. If you're using music as a distraction, then I do think that that is a potential, just another form of escapism. It also depends on the kind of music that you're listening to and what ideas it's representing in you. Because if you're listening to, like, I fuck bitches every day rolling on my Rolls Royce, right? Then, I don't know what to tell you, but you're not fucking bitches. So, if you're listening to something that is, like, promoting what you're doing in a way, I don't really know how to phrase this in a good way, but, essentially the point I'm trying to make is if it supplements your productivity, then music is fine. I really like music and I really like audio in general. So I have a very mixed opinion on that, and I think it'd be hypocritical if I said that I just don't listen to music at all, because I listen to music at a very bare minimum level, and that's only when I really want to enjoy it, right? And or when I'm supplementing something with music. I don't listen to it like if I'm washing dishes, for example, I don't listen to music. I listen to a podcast. I try and replace it with a podcast and only use it either, as I said, when I'm supplementing or doing something else. You said that I'm good enough, guy. Okay, I'm deleting that. Nah, you can keep. I'll keep that there just so you can look back on it. Share this. Just want to see that. If you guys that are in the programming group are looking to join any other group, just know that I've already, if you were worried that your group will die, I already have somebody who has the vision that Belial had for the group in mind, and I am very close to vetting him as your actual group leader, so I say don't worry. about joining another group yet. If that's your worry, if your worry is that things aren't gonna start up with your group, then man, don't worry because we're gonna get things going for you anyways. With the programming group, it's very crucial in our vision. So even if I have to stand up, I will make sure that you guys are still part of things. However, if you guys want to join another group besides the one you're currently in, then feel free to. I mean, you guys are technically capable of being in two groups if you have the time for that, and if you guys can show equal commitment. But just know that you won't be judged on a basis of like who has more or less work to do, and you guys won't be given mercy. You guys have to do the work of two groups if you're in two groups. So how can we add our own songs to it? So it should be a public playlist where you can add your own songs already. I'm not quite sure. If you guys hear that beeping, then that's because that's just my phone. I think that's submarine sound. Doesn't work on phone. Yeah, I actually noticed that. Only works on computer for some reason. I don't know. I'm actually not even the creator of that place. I have to get them to pass ownership to me or something. Actually, you know what I'll do before sending it over and letting you guys access it? I'm gonna create a copy and make it completely public again, so we can edit it more, and you guys can have, yeah, you guys can have a little more control over that playlist. I feel like having something like that's really good. Also because the music taste in that place is fire. And other people in there are telling me to go into my brother in Christ. Okay, I don't promote steroid use here, and so we're not gonna promote steroid use. All right. I think that steroids are just supplementing for being a weak little bitch, honestly, and impatient. Because at least my view on them is that if you don't have a certain physique, it's because you haven't earned it yet, right? And cheating into that is at least cheating, as I've seen it. Opinion on usage of Adderall. Okay, if you need to supplement your studying with Adderall, then you're not studying correctly, right? Um, I've gone through my first two quadrimesters, which is a total of 8 months of university in 3 months' time without any drugs and while managing two other projects with three part-time jobs. So I think that you're just not studying properly if you need Adderall. And if you mean Adderall, at least for the studying portion, is where that applies. Study tips? Yeah, okay, so for studying, try and put as many things outside of your mind as possible, and spaced repetition is what helps me, right? So maybe have 1 hour total, 2 weeks before the exam, of just taking notes and making flashcards, and then go ahead and repass that through something like RedNote is what I use. Another way that really helps me is to create a memory palace, at least for things like history-based exams, and this was mainly when I was in high school, right? Because now university, at least for me, is a lot different. I'm doing computer science, and the degree is very practice-based, at least for me. And so essentially, I don't really have to study many concepts, mainly because I'm familiarized with them pretty easily. And so, at least for concepts and kind of maybe commands and dates and such, I recommend getting used to using a memory palace. And a good way to do that, it could either, you don't even have to be using a memory palace. You can use a counting technique, you can use various techniques, but I definitely find a way to have your memory be not just pure memorization, because in my opinion, at least from my experience, your head is like a void, right? You need to build something inside of that void, and if you just throw words in there, they're gonna get lost, and it's hard to find. Think of it like this: you spill a box of Legos, right? This box of Legos is your entire memory, and you throw a piece of Lego in there that is a date that you're looking for in history, right? And you keep remembering, you keep trying to memorize this, and so the only reason why you memorize it for the exam, from my experience, is because it's at the front of your memory. How long is this gonna last? Man, honestly, we already got through everything, the main questions here. I'm just talking with you guys now because I'm completely free for the next hour. So if anybody wants to stay here and talk, I'm good with that. But essentially, if you just lose a piece of Lego in your mind, then looking for that piece of Lego in a pile of Legos, you're not gonna fucking find it, right? If you build that piece of Lego on a little structure or something, and you look for the structure and you're gonna find a piece of Lego on the structure, then that makes it so much easier. So what I think is spaced repetition, finding a way to bind one concept to another, an existing concept that you're familiar with, whether that be a room in a memory palace, a number in a counting sequence, or any way like that for at least concept-based learning. Spaced repetition to enforce that learning going up to it, because your brain is very if you need to, I can document and send it to you. Just shoot me a message. I have to read back because I have no idea what you're really talking about right now. I'm sorry, babe. And so essentially what I think on studying is spaced repetition, binding one concept to another. Mind maps are also a good way to do that, and flashcards, right? I can leave a document. Man, actually, if you want to save me time by documenting what we've been talking about in this call, that would be very good. Because after this call is over, I'll probably have to go back over the video and edit something out if it's controversial, or yeah. But I will be posting this on the channel and such, anyways. So you'd probably be helping me by quite a bit by just writing things down. At least some of the stuff we talked about helped me in the summary of this call. Should only take around 20 minutes, but yeah. Thank you, AZ. I gotta go though. Need to gym and work on my website. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Good meeting. Yeah, very good meeting. I'm happy. I'm happy you guys came and asked questions and such. Is moving to Spain when I'm 18. I'm 14 right now. Good goal to work towards. Okay. I think that moving to a different country is a very good goal to work towards. I don't see why you would choose Spain in particular. I've lived in around 5 different countries in my life, or four, and temporarily lived in a fifth. I've lived in the U.S., Italy, Spain, and Costa Rica, and semi lived in China for a little bit. And so, essentially, from my experience, Spain was definitely the one of the worst options that I had there. It was I don't know, man. It depends on what part of Spain you're in, right? It depends on what part. I don't see why you would go to Spain rather than Germany or Switzerland or any part like that. I'm not a big fan of Spain, as you can probably tell. Where have I lived? Costa Rica, U.S. Have I ever been to Portugal? No. Wait, no, I have, but it was only for a temporary flyby for 2 hours, right? But that was very like not integral. What countries slash city do I recommend to move to? If you have the funding, if you have the money for it, either Switzerland or South Africa are two of the main cities that I am wanting to move into in the future. To live in and raise a family in, I'd say either Japan or a Southern American country, and or another Asian country, Eastern country. What about Canada? Canada, I can't speak about Canada. I have heard that Canada is pretty good, pretty good, at least compared to most of the Americas. I've been very I've been very lucky in my life to have the chance to travel quite a bit because of the my mother was a huge traveler. She speaks 6 languages and has gone to, man, it was she was telling me, and it was an insane amount. It was around 78 countries. And so she's always been a huge fan of traveling and such. So yeah. Do you know any countries where, yeah, I'd like to, beaches and still like farmlands? Latin America is your goal. Latin America or Eastern Asia, at least from what I know. Maybe an island, Philippines, Hawaii, Bahamas, you know. If you're looking for beaches and farmland, if that's the reason you were going to look for Spain, I really don't recommend it. The beaches there, bro, that is, I lived in Spain on the beach in Malaga for around a year and a half almost, and man, that was the most torturous heat I have ever been in. I cannot even begin to describe how bad that was. And I'm in from Latin America, right? So right now, like if you look outside, it is sunny as it could be. It's around 35 degrees Celsius here, around I think that's 49 Fahrenheit. And man, it was like torturous. I didn't even see the sun for most days. In Canada, you need 10 million to own a home that feels like 1 million. Yeah, but okay, if you're used to living in the US, and the thing about that is that the reason houses in the US are so cheap is because of the architecture and the quality of the building. Because you guys' buildings are essentially just made out of cardboard, right? Germany slash Denmark. My, I think Germany and Denmark are both extremely good options. My only problem with Germany in particular is the taxes that I've seen. I gotta go too, bye. Alright, see ya, Kabir. Thanks for contributing. I really appreciate you doing that. I'll see you around, mate. But yeah, I recommend either a island country, Eastern Asia, or South or Latin America, right? Sweden house prices are worse, I promise you. Yeah, I've heard the housing in Sweden is absolutely insane, and just the cost of living is pretty high. But because it's a tax haven essentially, that is one of the reasons that I want to be that I one of my goals is to have at least my future business be based around Sweden. To learn als? What is learn als? I don't quite understand what you mean by that, mate. You're moving to the US in 2 months, X? That's sick. That's gonna be a very big opportunity for you if you're in a Latin American country at least. Would it be easier to learn a sign language? I've never heard somebody actually ask that question. That's really interesting. So I think sign language is this is purely an opinion because I'm just going to clarify. I have no knowledge and I'm not fit to talk about this topic, and I want to be very honest when I'm not fit to talk about something. But I think sign language would probably get you more lost than English. So, like, there's definitely more people that know English than sign language. So, does South America have lots of criminals? Also, Aus means Australia or something. Uh, Costa Rica, does South America have lots? Okay, that's a generalization, but generally, quite a bit of criminals, and not a actually preposterous amount though. Also, another country that I would recommend if you can afford it is definitely Dubai. Right. I can't say I was in Dubai for more than a few hours in a flyby flight to Israel. Do not even ask where I was flying from because I was asleep that whole trip. But essentially, I was just amazed being in Dubai for like 2 hours. Yes, it's very, very polluted though. That is one thing. The air pollution there is around. It's a little bit worse than London, I'm pretty sure. If not, well, it's around London levels, and London is shit for pollution. A surprisingly unpolluted city that I've been another one that is definitely on my bucket list to live in is Shanghai because many of you, I don't know what your all's opinion are in China, but I visited Shanghai for a while. And so, man, I was there for around a month and a half, 2 months with my grandpa. He has a thing. Works for China. Anyways, he's not my actual grandpa. He was like my stepfather's step grandfather, and so I'm not even related to him, and he doesn't talk to me anymore. But yeah, I was in Shanghai for 2 months, and I was amazed, bro. I have never breathed air cleaner than that in a city. He believes that females don't have the same opportunities and therefore don't want to support it. I can't speak about that. I have very little knowledge of Dubai law. I just have I have partial knowledge on Dubai economy related law, but in social economic status, I have no idea, mate. I don't know what to tell you. Looking in to buy an apartment in Austria and Sweden, man, it's fucking expensive. Yeah, they kind of will. At least that's what I've heard from the guys that live here. Costa Rica does not have that many criminals at all. I can tell you that. There are a few, but it's definitely better than other Latin American countries. If you're afraid of crime in Latin America, generally you just want to avoid an unstable economy because that's usually what drives people to crime. It's bad living conditions. First thing that comes to my mind when I hear Shanghai is pollution. That is a very okay. Beijing is is the extremely polluted or one of the extremely polluted Chinese cities, but Shanghai is man. Shanghai has so much clean energy. It is actually insane. I remember my most distinct memory of Shanghai is almost getting hit by a car because the entire highway was silent because every car was electric. And so I literally almost got hit by a car because every fucking car was electric and I could not hear. You're going, Art? Alright, see you later, G. I'll be wrapping things up in about 5 minutes as well. He's kind of a narcissistic man that rules everything he does. Wait, what? Oh, you mean your father? Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't even have a father figure, so no talk on that, right? Nah, I got a really interesting story on that. Um, yeah, some of y'all heard it, but yeah, it's interesting. You guys want to get some information on me? Yeah. How about we keep that to the podcast? If you guys, I tease you guys a little bit here. Bros out here asking for information like a CIA agent. Interest, age. Yeah, you trying to get me locked up? I thought you guys left me alone already. I, bro, I did not commit tax fraud. I promise. Are you a real male? No, I'm actually an Apache helicopter. I do not identify as a male. All right. Nah, I'm joking. Um, yeah, I'm a male. I think that's pretty difficult to tell, honestly. I don't know how you guess that. Interest. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say a little bit about myself, I guess, with these next few minutes. So, my name is. You guys can call me Max. My real name is Massimo. I'm Italian, Latin American, right? From my parents' sides, Max Verstappen. I have no idea who that is, but sure. And yeah, I don't know. My interests are self-improvement, programming, marketing, copywriting, anything that makes money, anything that helps other people, right? Those are the main two things that drive me, and psychology. I really, really like psychology and human behavior and all those kinds of things, and that's one of my main interests. I'm also a big fan of fitness, and I like to read books a lot. What I tend to do with my time is read, journal, watch podcasts, watch documentaries on certain either historical figures. NoFap, what do you mean NoFap? Uh, if you mean I'm on NoFap, yeah, I've been on NoFap for a while. One thing about NoFap, I don't believe that it's an ideal. I believe that it's a way of life, right? How long? I think we are here earlier. I mentioned I was, I had tried for 2 years to stop jacking off, and only recently, like since the last few months, have seriously succeeded. And I think that I think that how that, yeah, you gotta stop thinking about it. Exactly. That's the thing. You just, what you need to, the way that I solve it is just you become a person who is either too busy to jack off or does not need to jack off, right? Yeah, you're not trying to quit, you just quit. Exactly. Exactly. That's that's how you need to be treating it. Because when you're trying to quit something, if you see it's the main thing that drives a low success rate in quitting most addictions, and I learned this from Eurobrain on Porn, I'm pretty sure, as well as another addiction book, and I think it was on an addiction book on cigarettes actually, because my mother is a cigarette addict, and so I used to really be trying to help her get out of that and stuff, and so I'd read a bunch of books on addiction. Uh, yeah, that's another thing. Also, you gotta get rid of the triggers. I want to do a whole lecture on this soon, in reality, because I feel like that could provide a lot of value to you guys, and so I feel like that is the third lecture that I'll be doing here is on NoFap. You guys will see all of this scheduled soon, but I think that could help you guys a lot. And the main question that I get asked is on NoFap. So, for my age, I'm 17 years old, and yeah, what I'm doing currently is just taking my day. I have three part-time jobs in translation mainly. I also go to university and manage this. And apart from that, I also train martial arts and work out actively. And that's most of my day. And for my hobbies, my main hobbies are surfing, reading, journaling, and yeah, and watching podcasts and such. What martial art? I do Muay Thai slash K1. It depends on what my coach feels like that day, honestly. But I try to go for Muay Thai, and what I mainly specialize on my own training is Muay Thai. MMA, yeah, I think MMA is the best you can do, just because it's actual fighting. It's not martial art, but it's like actually the whole concept is based on fighting, and yeah, interesting. Happy for you. Thanks, mate. Do I taste podcasts as well? I have no idea what you mean by that, but yeah, I answer your podcast. Want to know your PP? I'm not disclosing this haram here. Favorite MMA fighter? Israel Adesanya, without a doubt. I really like his legacy that is at least following Khabib, right? And I think that's I watched this fight with man, my whole group, like from the gym, from the martial arts gym I train at. Just want to see the fight. It was great. It was great. It was honestly, yeah, that was a very good memory. As to that question, respect Khabib, love McGregor's real life. I'm not sure. I think I don't like fighters that disrespect. I like fighters who are honorable, and that's the main thing that I look for in an idol of mine, at least somebody to look up to. And I think fighters are very good people to look up to, and athletes in general. And I think that somebody like McGregor that disrespect continuously is not it, in my opinion. I really like that. It's the Russian, what is that Russian nation where Khabib and Adesanya are from? I have to get a port them as well. Kazakhstan. It is not. It's Dagestan. Yes, I think the Dagestan fighters are one absolutely insane fighters, and two are very honorable, and I really like that. What is my opinion on AI? I think AI is going to overtake half the industries, and is going to mainly favor the people who know how to use it, and that won't be the average person who will even be interested in that. The average person will only be interested in how their life can become easier. If you use AI to speed up progress, though, I think that that is the main way to use it. And how far my knowledge goes in that, it goes as far as reading a few articles, not reading any books, and what my university classes have discussed on it, which is a little bit too much to get into here. And I think most of that has become irrelevant with the past. Man, AI is developing way too fast, bro. Because the current expectancy rate for AGI artificial genuine intelligence, I'm pretty sure is what that's short for, is 10 years from now. A year and a half ago, AGI was expected to come about in 2060, and it's cut down by fucking 30 years. And if you guys see the CEO of OpenAI, the company that does ChatGPT and that sold it to, well, is now working for Microsoft, he publicly said that they have practically no countermeasures in place for AI right now, right? And I just think that that's definitely the worst we should be going about this. I think ideally we slow progress on AI for around 6 months because, in my opinion, it's gonna get out of hand, and it's in a way that it's like Roro's basilisk, and you will hear that a lot if in a comparison to AI, right? Roro's basilisk. I'm pretty sure that's what the theory is called, where when it comes to fruition, you just kind of you're in a weird position because when it comes to fruition and when true artificial intelligence comes about, it's not gonna like people that were against its creation, right? And so everybody's in this really weird position where they either favor its creation or not only get behind, but also have a, and if they try to slow it down, they have the potential of literally being thrown out the window in the future. No difference from GPT-3. I can disagree with that because of the fact that you can use plugins with GPT-4. At least that's why I'm buying it. Mate Siri is as well. Sort of. I think Siri is just a really advanced virtual assistant, as with most of them nowadays. Untouchable feeling away. Yeah, I think that, man, fighters are, and athletes in general have such a good mentality towards hard work that it's genuinely, I think that's why we look up to them so much because it's really something that being an athlete and at a high level, you only get there if you are built different, as you're saying, in mental fortitude and physically, and it's just such an intense level of hard work, even at the highest levels, because you can have talent, but talent without work is nothing, right? And so, people that are at those higher levels are just such insane humans who have really mastered their spirit, and I think that that's a really good representation of what most people in most fields should be like. It's just very difficult because of the fact that, in my opinion, it's very hard to find a purpose in life, and if you're motivated when it comes to a sport in particular and competition, man, competition is what drives a man, and many men find, many men, um, find huge inspiration in competition, and I think that that's another reason why athletes are amazing because they really their entire goal is following this competition and becoming the best. And amen. Wish death upon me. Blood in my eyes, and all I can see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. And it's one good girl is worth 1,000 bitches. Man, I like the songs you were mentioning. I've listened to a lot of, my music taste has been mostly made out of, uh, hip hop, like older hip hop. Like, bro, I've been rolling to Wu Tang. Yeah, fuck girls. Okay, I can give an opinion on that. You gotta find a wife. You can't find bitches. You gotta find a wife. And that's hard, but it's hard because nothing good comes easily, right? There's a call going on to its YouTube channel. Yeah, this call is going to the YouTube channel, and I think it'll be cut off at about half an hour ago. We've been going on for a while. I'm talking to a girl for the 3 months. Okay, if talking to a girl is getting on people's nerves, or like if talking to a girl is distracting you, then you're clearly not in the state to be talking to a girl, right? Because you are like, it's just counterproductive because a really quality girl will be interested in you because you're a quality guy. I'm posting a YouTube channel in announcements and rules, resources. Yeah, here we go. And there's a YouTube channel in announcements. I'll be posting everything in a link tree soon that you can find on the Notion. We'll be operating out of the Notion and out of the website we'll be hosting. And you guys can see the website come up when we are done with it. That should take about a week, and that'll be up soon. And that website will also function as, it'll be multifunctional, but you'll see the announcements leading up to that. But yeah, back to woman, right? Man, if a woman is a distraction, then you're not gonna get that woman, in my opinion. Because you got better things to be focusing on. And if you're wasting your time on a woman that likes when you waste your time on her and she isn't disappointed and doesn't want you to work, right? She doesn't want you to get better, then you are setting yourself up for failure because if a girl doesn't want you to flourish, then that girl is not a good girl. She's still shit testing. I think shit testing isn't necessarily that bad because if you guys have read the Way of the Spirit Man, um, women naturally tend to want to test you to see if you're still worthy, right? And like, of course, it gets really annoying when it's just due to their own insecurity. And if it's just due to their own insecurity, then that's just bullshit, right? But if it's a test to see if you still care, I think that there needs to be a way to guarantee that, right? There's a long-term solution that you can find there, and it's not just passing the shit test. There is a long-term solution. Showed that she ain't got going out with guy friends, and she got mad. That's a way longer conversation than we can have here, and I'm writing that down for another potential lecture on girls. I'm currently in my first relationship, which has gone on since I was 14, and I'm currently 17. And it has not been easy, I tell you that, but it has been learning. And learning doesn't have to be easy. Oh, can you guys hear me? Yeah, learning doesn't have to be easy. What should a 15-year-old learn to do to make money online? Skill. Don't focus on making it yet. Focus on getting skills, right? And I think that goes for most stages. She was interested in me, but I felt like she would just distract me and slow my progress. If a girl is interested in you and you think that, like, and you're interested in her, and she won't just slow your progress, you'll find that a good girl will actually help you grow. What kind of skills? I'll give you a list right now: marketing, copywriting, social psychology, group mentality, editing, prompt engineering now, especially prompt engineering, and coding, design. Man, there's so many things. Honestly, you can. That one thing with skills is that you can literally turn anything into a business, right? Assume first start with interests you like. Yeah, if you have an interest in something and you think that it could work towards your purpose, say a chef, right? Somebody that's a good cook. How are you going to monetize cooking, right? A way that you can monetize cooking is by developing a skill on top. So I think that a real business is all about skill stacking. It's not just about, and I'm taking these words straight out of Alex Hormozzi's mouth. I watched a podcast on him. It was from Diary of a CEO. It was one of his recent episodes on there. And one of the main things he talks about is that just you can turn anything, any skill, even if you don't think it's profit related, into profit. If you just stack it with other skills that you can use to make it profitable. right? Because there's always going to be somebody interested in some niche topic. It's just how you bring that to them. Can I link the podcast? Yeah, I can search for that right now. Sure, mate. What kind of skills? And also for that skill, for that question, really any kind of skill that will work, including me, Izzy. Okay, so I don't go out pretty much at all most of the day, and when I do go out, it's usually just to surf or go to the gym or work out. See you guys later. All right, see you, mate. But I use a cologne that I ran out of. That is, um, I can't even find it right now. Actually, I don't even know where the box is. Aventus Creed, Invictus. Yeah, Invictus, Invictus. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, you got it. I can't. I'm actually surprised you use the same one. Link the podcast. I will find it for you right now. Actually, let me get that. There was CEO. Alex Hormozy. I'm in trouble finding this really quickly.
Is there I think about like human needs.
Chasing that A and want to save time on.
I think it might be this one, this Diary of a CEO episode. It came out 6 days ago. It's pretty recent. Bro, I have every perfume you can think of, 50 plus. Oh, you're a perfume guy? That's sick, actually. To buy new perfumes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I've just been using deodorant, honestly. I'm getting a new perfume when I go to Italy later this year around May. Because my family are very, very big on perfumes. At least my Italian side, since, Italians. I'm addicted to buying new perfumes. Yeah. And so, yeah, I want to get something good there. Something really good. Also because getting a good perfume here is probably gonna get it stolen. At least delivered. I could go to a duty free perfume station like an airport though. And I think that would also be good though. Yeah, I'm just saying I have no reason for a perfume right now. I'm not on the dating market. I don't just wear it because I want to and I don't leave my house for shit. So apart from of course my hobbies. In my area especially, there's very little actual space to go on dates and such, for example. And so if you're looking for like a date, you usually just go to the beach because of the fact that at least where I live, it's such a hobbies. Uh, yeah, at least where I live, it's such a small and it's just a weirdly structured town. My main hobbies: martial arts, surfing, reading, journaling, music, actually, listening at least for I like to dedicate time to listening to music because I want to make it special, at least when I do listen to it, because as I mentioned before, I don't think it's necessarily a great thing, but yeah. But yeah, surfing, martial arts, gym, reading, journaling, and I think that's about it. Oh yeah, psychology study too. I really like psychology. I don't think that's hedonistic. How to Win Friends and Influence People, crucial book for every person's development. Definitely a crucial book. I listened to an audiobook of it twice, and I'm buying the book now to read it because I think it's so valuable. Favorite chapter? As I said, I listened to it on audiobooks form, and when you're listening to an audiobook, it's not really defined chapters. But I'm pretty sure it was at around 2 hours in, so maybe chapter 7, 8? Well, it's got a lot of micro chapters, so I'm not even sure. But it was the one that was talking about the fact that essentially you need to be able to lead people. And my second favorite was the. Let me see if I'm finding it here. Do, 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 do. Yeah, no, that was as a whole part. That was how to be a leader, how to change people without giving offense or rousing resentment. Because I think that is an extremely useful skill that you gotta have. Hey, my little brother came here. I have a little stepbrother. Oh, okay. Yeah, kid is like, bro. Y'all ever seen like 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds? They have so much fucking energy. It's actually, am I allowed to send a link to the book? Yeah, bro. Send it. Go ahead. Your average of 5 people you spend the most time with. How do you cut the bad people from your life? Okay, a man cannot be lonely, right? So a man cannot physically allow themselves to be lonely because a lonely man that doesn't have a tribe is a lost man. So there's a very simple way to cut out the bad people, and that's just spending time with the good, right? And finding a way to spend more time with good people. Whether that be, that's one of the things that we want to also provide you guys here, is just a small community that you can really give time and have like-minded individuals that can be a replacement for all the toxic in real life communities that you have that were the things that inspired you to get on self-improvement in the first place. Just not wanting to be like your peers because, at least from my experience, it's very, very easy to be surrounded by Jeffries in this modern day. And finding good people, you gotta search for them, honestly. That's just like, that's the main thing. You gotta physically search for them if you aren't already in a community because there's places that they gather, that good people gather, libraries, um, gyms, for example. You might not have as much luck in a gym. Especially, yeah, I'm not even sure if you'll have nearly as much luck in a gym nowadays, especially. Not a gym, yeah. I did make a bunch of, um, I have a, I had a small group that I managed where it was just a group from a bunch of gym guys, and I essentially started growing that, and we were transitioning to a kind of brand phase, and that was going pretty good, but then some stuff happened, and yeah, those guys were pretty good at least. It's great to find who are social and still have the grind set. Yeah, that's because, okay, I was getting asked about this earlier. Why why is it so hard to find good people? It's because the good people are the people who are inside working, right? And so you really gotta search for them. Only one is based. That's, I think that's actually a pretty good conversion rate. If it's like 10 friends, if you got 10 people and one of them is quote unquote base, that's a really good conversion in my opinion. Another way is we actually want to have a way that, at least with the app that we have, to have to be able to find people that are close to you or like even within one state or one country that want to improve in life. Yeah, that's because they're hiding, right? Because they've gone through that phase where they can't find people, and most of them, at least, if they don't have a community already, they just keep hiding themselves and just keep working, right? And they're not like at parties, they're not in the usual places where you'd find people. How do you tell a difference from real base people or random Andrew Tate watchers? Depending on how much they hate on women, honestly. Because an actual base person accepts woman for just woman, being woman, and knows that it's their job to find a different kind of woman to get, not instead of these fucking blue hair bitches. And so that's my answer to how you can distinguish them. Also, from my experience, eventually every random Andrew Tate watcher has like a 30% chance to go into actual self improvement instead of just being a, like, just giving a bad idea. He doesn't give a fuck. I feel like I'm getting a friend to read all of my books when I'm done. He doesn't give a fuck about career because he knows he'll get his parents' money. Yeah, it's honestly what Tux is saying. It's not too. It's definitely not too difficult to actually distinguish the bad from the good in that way. It's just like within one conversation. Usually, you can find who's just an incel that hates women and who is on self improvement and thinks he has a good idea. It's like, yeah. If you guys got anything else, at this point there's 7 of us. We can even move into another VC here. Although I do want to be wrapping this up next few minutes. I'm gonna stop there.